When you give them a goal, they will relentlessly pursue that goal. How many computer programs are there like this? Nobody knows.
One of the fascinating aspects about AI in general is that no one really understands how it works. Even the people who create AI don't really fully understand. Because it has millions of elements, it becomes completely impossible for a human being to understand what's going on.
Microsoft had set up this artificial intelligence called Tai on Twitter, which was a chatbot. They started out in the morning and Tai was starting to tweet and learning from stuff that was being sent to him from other Twitter people. Because some people like Troll attacked him. Within 24 hours, the Microsoft bot became a terrible person. They had to literally pull Tai off the net because he had turned into a monster. A misanthropic, racist, horrible person you never want to meet. And nobody had foreseen this.
The whole idea of AI is that we are not telling it exactly how to achieve a given outcome or a goal. AI develops on its own.
We're worried about superintelligent AI, the master chess player that will outmaneuver us. But AI won't have to actually be that smart to have massively disruptive effects on human civilization. We've seen over the last century, it doesn't necessarily take a genius to knock history off in a particular direction. And it won't take a genius AI to do the same thing.
Bogus election news stories generated more engagement on Facebook than top real stories.
Facebook really is the elephant in the room.
AI running Facebook newsfeed, the task for AI is keeping users engaged. But no one really understands exactly how this AI is achieving this goal.
Facebook is building an elegant mirrored wall around us. A mirror that we can ask, who's the fairest of them all? And it will answer you, time and again. To slowly begin to warp our sense of reality, warp our sense of politics, history, global events, until determining what's true and what's not true is virtually impossible.
The problem is that AI doesn't understand that. AI just had a mission, maximize user engagement, and it achieved that. Nearly 2 billion people spend nearly 1 hour on average a day basically interacting with AI that is shaping their experience. Even Facebook engineers, they don't like fake news. It's very bad business. They want to get rid of fake news. It's just very difficult to do because how do you recognize news as fake if you cannot read all of those news personally?
There's so much active misinformation, and it's packaged very well, and it looks the same when you see it on a Facebook page or you turn on your television.
It's not terribly sophisticated, but it is terribly powerful. And what it means is that your view of the world, which 20 years ago was determined if you watched the nightly news by 3 different networks with 3 anchors who endeavored to try to get it right. You might have had a little bias one way or the other, but largely speaking, we could all agree on an objective reality. Well, that objectivity is gone, and Facebook has completely annihilated it. If most of your understanding of how the world works is derived from Facebook, facilitated by algorithmic software that tries to show you the news you want to see. And that's a terribly dangerous thing. And the idea that we have not only set that in motion, but allowed bad faith actors access to that information. And this is a recipe for disaster.
I think that there will definitely be lots of bad actors trying to manipulate the world with AI. 2016 was a perfect example of an election where there was lots of AI producing lots of fake news and distributing it for a purpose, for a result.
Ladies and gentlemen, honorable colleagues, it's my privilege to speak to you today about the power of big data and psychographics in the electoral process, and specifically to talk about the work that we contributed to Senator Cruz's presidential primary campaign.
Cambridge Analytica emerged quietly as a company that, according to its own hype, has the ability to use this tremendous amount of data in order to effect societal change. In 2016, they had 3 major clients. Ted Cruz was one of them.
It's easy to forget that only 18 months ago, Senator Cruz was one of the less popular candidates seeking nomination. And
so what was not possible maybe like 10 or 15 years ago was that you can send fake news to exactly the people that you want to send it to. And then you can actually see how he or she reacts on Facebook and then adjust that information according to the feedback that you got. And so you can start developing kind of a real-time management of a population.
In this case, we've zoned in on a group we've called Persuasion. These are people who are definitely going to vote, to caucus, but they need moving from the center a little bit more towards the right in order to support Cruz. They need a persuasion message. Gun rights I've selected. That narrows the field slightly more. And now we know that we need a message on gun rights. It needs to be a persuasion message, and it needs to be nuanced according to the certain personality that we're interested in.
Through social media, there's an infinite amount of information that you can gather about a person.
We have somewhere close to 4,000 or 5,000 data points on every adult in the United States.
It's about targeting the individual. It's like a weapon which can be used in the totally wrong direction.
That's the problem with all of this data. It's almost as if we built the bullet before we built the gun.
Ted Cruz employed our data, our behavioral insights. He started from a base of less than 5% and had a very slow and steady but firm rise to above 35%, making him obviously the second most threatening contender in the race. Now, clearly the Cruz campaign is over now, but what I can tell you is that of the 2 candidates left in this election, one of them is using these technologies.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States